First, I'm going to be presenting the sacraments, which are the visible signs of God's invisible grace at work in the world. So the first sacrament I will be talking about is baptism, and baptism is a rite of admission into the church, and it cleanses us from original sin. And the outward sign of baptism is water, which is a sign of cleansing, and this sacrament ties into what I've learned more about this year, which are the different types of sin, including venial sins, mortal sins, capital sins, original sin, and vices. The next sacrament is communion, which is union with Christ, and the Eucharist is a sign of nourishment or spiritual food. Something that I learned this year that ties into this sacrament is the doctrine of the communion of saints, which teaches that the church is a community of faith united by the Holy Spirit at Eucharist. The next sacrament is reconciliation, and reconciliation is sometimes referred to as a second baptism because similarly to how our original sin was wiped away during baptism, our post-baptismal sins are forgiven through confession, and this sacrament is a sign of healing, forgiveness, and love. Through confirmation, our faith and relationship with the church are strengthened, and in confirmation, the Holy Spirit's gifts are increased in us, and we are sealed to Christ. Attending Carrollton and Carrollton's goals have helped me to grow in my faith, so I want to explain how the goals play into my daily life as I continue my faith journey. Goal 1 is that Carrollton commits to educate to a personal and active faith in God. We observe Espacio daily, which is a time for prayer and reflection. On campus, there are constant reminders of our faith. Goal 2 is that Carrollton commits to educate to a deep respect for intellectual values. We are educated through a variety of teaching styles and strategies, and the curriculum is based off of the goals and criteria. We are also taught how to think critically. Goal 3 is that Carrollton commits to educate a social awareness which impels to action. There are many service opportunities offered throughout the school year, and we are informed of current events and issues. We are also taught how to be responsible citizens and to have respect for everyone. The requirement of 30 service hours annually incentivizes service, and one thing that I learned this year is that service can be a great form of prayer. Goal 4 is that Carrollton commits to educate to the building of community as a Christian value.
How do I incorporate Goal 4 into my life?
You definitely incorporate Goal 4. You're probably one of the nicest people I know, and I don't say that lightly, but you're super nice. You're always smiling, you're always just happy and optimistic about life, and it definitely shows. It definitely feels you're just a nice person. You make sure everyone's just not dying of stress. If I am dying, I'm less dying because you're it's okay. You'll get through it. I believe in you, and I'm thanks. I really needed that.
How do I incorporate Goal 4 into my life?
Sophie incorporates Goal 4 into her life because she's very welcoming to everybody she meets, and she doesn't exclude anybody, and she welcomes everybody. And when I was new at Carrollton and I didn't know anybody, she just approached me and welcomed me.
How do I incorporate Goal 4 into my life?
You incorporate Goal 4 into your life. How do I explain this? On the first day of school, during retreat, I remember you being super nice and super welcoming, and I remember you being one of the first friends I made, and you were just super kind, and you let me in, and it was super nice of you. And then after, when we got back from the retreat, you started letting me come to the bay with you during free, and we just hung out a lot, and you were just super welcoming and super sweet, especially since I didn't know anyone at Carrollton.
Goal 5 is that Carrollton commits to educate to a personal growth and an atmosphere of wise freedom. An example of wise freedom would be free period, because free period teaches us how to manage our time and to become more independent.